Earlier this week, I mentioned to you that Joe Biden has almost completely ended the drone war, and it has barely made a headline. And we talked about some of the reasons why that is on the Monday show. Joe Biden has also overseen, I'm not saying caused, notice the language I'm using. Joe Biden has also overseen some of the fastest economic recovery in American history by the metrics that Republicans love to use. And that's also barely being discussed. There's a really good article in The Hill by our friend Max Burns who outlines this. And again, it's by the standards used to judge the economy. What's happening is quite notable. The economy is now close to full employment, unemployment down from 6.7 a year ago to 4.2. In the past, similar declines have taken 3 years rather than one. Labor force participation, a favorite of Republicans, is at its highest level since the pandemic. Wages are up in many industries. GDP growth is taking place. And somehow there is still significant pessimism about the economy. Now, of course, on right-wing media, there's pessimism about the economy, but also among Americans who were just surveyed, polled, and asked, what's your general feeling about the economy? Now, does this mean there isn't suffering? Of course there is suffering. Does this mean we don't have the same systemic economic issues about fairness, wages overall, inequality, health insurance? We have all of those different things. But by their standards, what's happening is quite stunning. Remember, they talk about unemployment rate, labor force participation, stock market as well. Stock market has been doing very, very well. They also, when it's a Republican in the White House, say that when there's good economic indicators, it's thanks to the president that is in the White House. With Joe Biden, I'm not even saying that. You don't even have to. It's by their standards you attribute these things to the man or woman, historically it's been a man, who is in the White House. Now, is inflation increasingly an issue? It is. We talked about it yesterday with Congressman Ro Khanna. It's an issue. It also is fair to say that any particular individual's well-being is not totally coupled to these broader economic indicators. And that's true no matter who is president. Note that I'm stepping back from, is it a Democrat or a Republican? The point here is not to say Biden's a hero and fixed everything. In fact, he fixed nothing yet about the systemic economic issues that we face. The other reason for pessimism is that, to be honest, there's some ignorance about what a good economy even means. I mean, for many people, they might have a job and be doing fine, but they are aware that prices are going up. So when the poll asks them, are you pessimistic or optimistic about the economy? They go, I'm pessimistic, even though the inflation is not affecting them and it's not going to. Okay, well, if you can afford everything and you're doing fine, is the economy doing poorly or not? Depends on what the scope of the question is. Are you saying for me, systemically, what are you actually saying? 70% of the people polled said they are doing fine, but still feel the economy is not good. If it's fine for 70%, how bad is it? And this isn't to minimize the experience of those who are not doing well. The point here is you've got, by the standards they choose, things looking pretty good. And there are also these kind of polling artifacts and incongruities that don't necessarily prove or disprove the economy is good or the economy is bad. But it makes us wonder, when people are even asked these questions, what is making them say one thing versus another? And often when you look into it, the right loves to make a big deal out of, you can't trust polling when you're simply asking, who are you going to vote for? In fact, generally speaking, well-sampled polls, which just say, who are you going to vote for, are mostly trustworthy, generally speaking, within the margin of error. The polls that I think really we have to look at with more skepticism are these opinion polls about what is your sense of how this or that is going. Because often people will answer one way, you ask them 2 or 3 questions, and their actual nitty-gritty opinion would suggest they should have answered the complete opposite way. So interesting numbers, but in particular interesting that these are metrics where if it was a Republican in the White House, they would be saying, this is unbelievable, and it's thanks to the Republican in the White House. In this case, it's Biden. They're certainly not attributing any of it to Biden, and they're not even really acknowledging that the numbers look pretty good. Send me your thoughts. Let me know why and what you think is underlying this. You can find me on Twitter at dpacman. And remember that next Tuesday, the 14th, 6 p.m. Eastern, we'll be doing our next viewer town hall. It'll be live on the Pacman Live YouTube channel. Hope you'll join me then. One of our sponsors today is Blue Chew, a unique online service delivering the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis in a chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. And they're giving my audience an entire month's supply for free. So if you think you could benefit from an extra boost of confidence when it's time, all you have to do is take a short quiz on their website. A licensed doctor approves your prescription. The medication comes straight to your home within days in a discreet package. No driving around to the doctor's office or the pharmacy. No waiting around. No awkward conversations with your doctor. All of Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA. The entire process is just a few clicks. Go to bluechew.com. The link is underneath this video. They'll give you an entire month's supply for free when you use the promo code PACMAN. All you have to do is pay $5 shipping.